At 80, Tom Selleck finally tells the truth about Glenn Ford. Tom Selleck was born Thomas William Selleck on January 29, 1945, in Detroit, Michigan. Selleck grew up in a modest, hard-working family that valued integrity, discipline, and perseverance, qualities that would later define his career and his on-screen persona. When his family moved to California, young Tom quickly found himself drawn to athletics. He attended the University of Southern California on a basketball scholarship, where his tall, athletic frame and competitive spirit made him a standout player. Yet, destiny had different plans for him. During his college years, he began modeling and taking small acting jobs to help pay the bills, unknowingly paving the way for an extraordinary career in film and television. In the early years, Selleck faced the typical struggles of a young actor trying to break into Hollywood. He appeared in countless television commercials and bit parts in shows during the late 1960s and early 1970s. Many people remember his early appearances in Pepsi and close-up toothpaste commercials, where his natural charisma and trademark mustache began to catch the audience's eye. Although he was initially typecast as the handsome guy, Selleck persevered, refusing to let early setbacks define him. He studied acting seriously, took rejection with humility, and honed his craft with patience, a rare quality in an industry obsessed with instant fame. His big break finally came in 1980 when he landed the role of Thomas Magnum in the CBS television series Magnum P.I., a role that would not only make him a superstar, but also an icon of American television. Magnum P.I. became a massive hit, running from 1980 to 1988 and earning Selleck both critical and popular acclaim. As Thomas Magnum, a private investigator living in Hawaii, Selleck embodied the perfect balance of toughness and charm. His portrayal was refreshingly human. He wasn't a flawless hero, but a relatable, witty, and moral man who often found himself in extraordinary situations. With his signature Hawaiian shirts, Ferrari 308 GTS, and easygoing charisma, Selleck became a symbol of 1980s cool. The role earned him an Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama Series in 1984, cementing his place as one of television's most beloved leading men. Yet even at the height of his fame, Selleck remained humble and deeply appreciative of the fans who supported him throughout his journey. While Magnum P.I. was the cornerstone of his success, Selleck's film career also flourished. He appeared in a range of successful movies, including Three Men and a Baby, 1987, and its sequel Three Men and a Little Lady, 1990, both of which showcased his comedic timing and warm, fatherly charm. Other films such as Quigley Down Under, 1990, Mr. Baseball, 1992, and In and Out, 1997, displayed his versatility, proving he could move effortlessly between drama, comedy, and action. What made Selleck stand out was not just his screen presence, but also his commitment to his craft. He carefully chose roles that aligned with his personal values and avoided the pitfalls of fame, maintaining a steady and respectable reputation. In later years, Selleck continued to win over new audiences with his portrayal of Frank Reagan, the stoic and morally upright New York City police commissioner, in the long-running CBS drama Blue Bloods. Premiering in 2010, the show became another major success, and Selleck's performance earned him praise for bringing depth, dignity, and quiet strength to a role that resonated deeply with viewers. His character's emphasis on family, faith, and duty mirrored the values Selleck has long upheld in his real life. Fans appreciated his ability to portray a man of principle without pretense, further solidifying his status as one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Tom Selleck's romantic life has always intrigued fans almost as much as his on-screen charisma. Behind the mustache, the quiet confidence, and the rugged charm that defined his acting persona lies a man deeply devoted to family, stability, and lasting love. Values that have guided him through both the triumphs and heartaches of his personal relationships. Over the decades, Tom has experienced both the pain of divorce and the joy of a lasting marriage, experiences that helped shape him into the grounded and humble individual admired by millions today. Selleck's first marriage was to model and actress Jacqueline Ray, a stunning woman who captivated him during the early stages of his Hollywood career. The two married in 1971, a time when Tom was still struggling to establish himself in the entertainment industry. He had not yet achieved the global fame that would later come with Magnum, P.I., and his early years with Jacqueline were filled with both ambition and uncertainty. Jacqueline, already somewhat known in the modeling world, became a stabilizing presence for Tom as he navigated the difficulties of show business. Their relationship reflected the pressures faced by young Hollywood couples, balancing love, personal dreams, and the constant demand for success. During their marriage, Selleck not only pursued acting roles, but also took on the responsibility of fatherhood when he adopted Jacqueline's son, Kevin Shepard, from her previous marriage. This decision demonstrated the depth of his commitment and sense of duty. Kevin would later go on to have his own career in music, and Tom continued to maintain a strong, caring relationship with him long after his marriage to Jacqueline ended. Despite his rising fame, Selleck worked hard to create a stable home life. Yet the increasing demands of his acting career gradually took a toll on their relationship. As his fame began to soar in the early 1980s, the pressures of Hollywood life and long filming schedules strained their marriage beyond repair. By 1982, after more than a decade together, Tom Selleck and Jacqueline Ray finalized their divorce. The split was not surrounded by public scandal or bitterness, but it was undoubtedly painful for both. Selleck later admitted that fame can be isolating, and the demanding nature of success often comes at a high personal cost. Still, he remained respectful toward Jacqueline and grateful for the formative years they shared. Their marriage helped define his approach to love and commitment, teaching him that true relationships require more than passion. They demand patience, understanding, and balance. A few years later, while filming in London for his movie Lassiter, 1984, Selleck met Gilly Joan Mack, a British actress and dancer who would eventually become the love of his life. Gilly, known for her energetic spirit and warm personality, instantly caught his attention when she appeared in the West End production of Cats. Tom, who had gone to see the musical, found himself more fascinated by one particular performer than the show itself. After the curtain fell, he arranged to meet Gilly backstage, and that moment sparked a connection that would blossom into one of Hollywood's most enduring love stories. The couple married in 1987 in a quiet, intimate ceremony that reflected Tom's growing desire for privacy and authenticity. By this time, Selleck was an international star thanks to Magnum P.I., but fame had taught him the importance of protecting his personal life from public intrusion. Their wedding, conducted under aliases to avoid media attention, demonstrated how seriously they took their commitment to one another. Unlike many Hollywood marriages built under the glare of cameras, theirs was founded on mutual respect, laughter, and shared priorities. Tom and Gilly later welcomed their daughter, Hannah Margaret Selleck, in 1988, and her birth marked a turning point in his life. Selleck famously stepped away from Magnum P.Y. to focus on raising his family and tending to his ranch in California. He once said that while acting brought him fame and financial success, family always comes first. This philosophy became the cornerstone of his marriage to Gilly, and it explains why their relationship has endured for nearly 4 decades. Together, they have created a peaceful, private life away from Hollywood's chaos, spending time horseback riding, caring for their ranch, and supporting their daughter's successful career as an equestrian. After decades of silence and reflection, Tom Selleck, now 80 years old, has finally opened up about one of the most influential yet misunderstood figures in Hollywood history, Glenn Ford. Selleck, known for his dignified privacy and quiet respect toward his peers, rarely speaks about his personal heroes. But when it comes to Ford, the man who helped shape his understanding of acting and professionalism, Selleck has much to say. Glenn Ford was a man who carried Hollywood on his shoulders without ever demanding the credit, Selleck remarked. He had that rare blend of strength and subtlety that every actor tries to master, but few ever do. Selleck first encountered Ford's work long before he became a household name himself. Growing up in California in the 1950s, he often watched classic westerns and dramas where Ford stood as the moral compass, calm, restrained, and quietly commanding. He wasn't a loud actor, Selleck reflected. He didn't need to shout to be heard. His eyes did the work, his silence did the talking. That's something I tried to carry into my own career. Indeed, Selleck's iconic portrayal of Thomas Magnum in Magnum P.I. carries echoes of Ford's reserved intensity, a charisma born not from words but from presence. When Selleck eventually crossed paths with Ford in the early 1970s, he was still a young actor struggling to find his place in Hollywood. Ford, already a veteran with decades of experience, treated him with respect and warmth. He didn't act like a star. He acted like a man who had been through the wars, literally and figuratively, Selleck said, referring to Ford's real-life service in World War II. He taught me that being an actor wasn't about fame. It was about discipline, honesty, and staying true to yourself. That advice, Selleck explained, became the backbone of his own approach to his craft and his career choices. Selleck admired Ford not only as an actor but as a human being. He described Ford as a man's man who still knew how to show compassion. Behind his tough exterior was a deep sense of loyalty and decency. He didn't play heroes. He played men trying to do the right thing even when it hurt, Selleck said. That's real acting. That's real life. In an era when many leading men relied on swagger and style, Ford brought something deeper, a quiet moral gravity that could fill the screen without a single raised voice. Selleck credited Ford for inspiring him to approach roles like Magnum, P.I., Quigley Down Under, and Blue Bloods with that same grounded authenticity. Over the years, Selleck often found himself thinking of Ford's legacy whenever he stepped onto a set. Sometimes I'd ask myself, how would Glenn handle this scene? He admitted. He had this ability to make every moment feel honest. He never faked it. You can't teach that. You can only learn it by watching. Selleck recalled that Ford's performances in 3:10 to Yuma and The Big Heat were masterclasses in emotional restraint. They taught him that stillness could be far more powerful than action, and that the smallest gestures often revealed the most truth. When asked what he thought Ford would make of today's Hollywood, Selleck smiled thoughtfully. Glenn would probably shake his head, he said. He came from a time when integrity mattered, when actors took pride in doing their work quietly and doing it well. He didn't chase publicity or play the fame game. He just showed up, did his job, and went home. That old-school professionalism is something Selleck has also become known for, and he acknowledges that Ford's example helped him avoid many of the pitfalls that ruin careers. He showed me that longevity comes from humility, Selleck said, and that's something I never forgot. Reflecting on Ford's passing in 2006, Selleck grew somber. I wish I'd told him how much he meant to me, he confessed. People assume actors always tell each other that stuff, but we don't. You think you'll have more time. Then one day you realize that opportunity's gone. His voice softened as he added, Glenn Ford wasn't just an actor to me. He was a standard. He reminded me what this business could be at its best. Now, as Tom Selleck himself becomes a revered elder statesman of Hollywood, he feels a deep responsibility to carry forward the lessons Ford embodied. When younger actors ask me for advice, he said, I tell them the same thing Glenn taught me. Don't act the part, live it. Be honest in your work and don't let the noise distract you. For Selleck, Glenn Ford's influence endures not just in film history, but in the quiet integrity of every actor who refuses to compromise their craft for fame. In many ways, Selleck's tribute to Glenn Ford is also a reflection of his own journey, two men of few words, both devoted to authenticity, decency, and the timeless art of storytelling. As he put it simply, Glenn Ford showed me what it meant to be a real man in this business. I owe him more than he ever knew. Tommy Lee Jones's life and career form a portrait of quiet brilliance. A man who rose from Texas plains to Hollywood glory without ever losing his sense of who he was. As one of the great actors of his generation, he continues to inspire admiration for his discipline, intelligence, and integrity. Few performers have managed to blend toughness and tenderness so effortlessly, and even fewer have left such a lasting mark on American cinema. Tommy Lee Jones is not merely a star. He is a storyteller of rare power and authenticity, a living legend whose work will continue to inspire generations to come.